Anyways, just like the Cavs in a 3-1 comeback, that boy persisted. Cause they got a class trip, so he gets another chance. But every chance that boy gets, she just act like she ain't know. At that point, you gotta give up. That boy ain't winning no titles. But it was heated though, like so heated. Niggas was warm enough to throw hands in the snow. Welcome back. This might be the longest video done on this channel because I'm covering the entire anime. The anime name today is Toradora. You all know what day it is, so what other anime would I cover if it's not a romance anime? Anyways, let's get cue the intro.
マジか。領域展開無料空想。
So we open up and we get introduced to our two MCs of the story, Yuji and Tiger, and also his fine-eye mama. Anyways, so that boy goes to school while he walking. Somebody bumps into him, but apparently that boy got the face of a young nigga because they just gave him their wallets as compensation. And of course, he just returns that shit to the lost and found. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. Maybe they were right, cause look how he smiles. Nigga looks like he ready to switch something. But despite that, when the hers show up, he fumbles under pressure. So now he feels himself a little bit. He walks off, but he bumps into the other MC. But to be fair, I ain't told, but it's completely understandable that if you lose focus, you might bump into your friends who suddenly disappear for 48 hours on the dates of December 24th and 25th. Anyways, and that's how our story begins of how I fought your mother. So after getting dropped, that boy just went on with his day. He's a childhood though, and it seems like that boy couldn't catch up. Because when he came to grab his bag to go home, Shorty was in there crashing out. And now she fighting him for his bag. But luckily, this time, he ain't get laid out. So now that boy at home, chilling, listening to his lo-fi, and hating on his dead father. Then he starts going through his bag and finds what Shorty was probably fighting him for. And guess what? He can't catch a break at home either, because Shorty literally broke into that nigga house and tries to give my boy CTE. And somehow he still ends up feeding her. Boy, she would have been going to jail with me. Hell no. Now I know what you gonna say. Ain't you the same nigga that made this video? Well, what I have to say to that is... So... they get to school and what he basically doing is trying to get Shorty to look good. So his nigga could notice her, but ain't one of his plans working and he had to save her clumsy ass from falling down the stairs.
Ryuji!
Cookie
And eventually, after all their plot, now the Shorty he likes and the nigga she likes think they together. They even had this dramatic ass scene on top of the roof. She over there standing like she about to go fight a life or death battle. That nigga pulls up like he the main villain. Like the plotting couldn't have gone so poorly. But even so, she still went through with it the next day and she gets rejected. I guess I don't even know what happened. But what I can say for sure, my nigga better be looking for a different pick in this draft. So after figuring out Shorty works at a restaurant, that boy found a place to visit every day. He even put his best fit on, and on his way there, he meets this freaky ass nigga. And somehow completely unplanned, that nigga gets trapped in here with her, and Tiger ends up chatting with the other nigga. So other than this nigga being a victim, overall it was a great side quest. But with one step forward, we take 1 year step back, because it turns out the nigga, she apparently rejected him before. That's probably why her shots ain't been going down, bro. And my boy been working his butt off to help her too. So they back at their favorite restaurant, you know, chilling and eating. And that nigga Takumaru pulled up with a fine shit, like shorty a whole model, bro. I'm talking front page magazine, billboard. Now off the first meetup, all I can say is she playing with that boy. Cause of the bad she was being a little bit too nice. Can't trust her. I probably saying she just probably like that. Nah, you gonna see later on. And it wouldn't even take long, cause even Takamari knew how she really was. So they both leave the table and Shorty switches up instantly. But hey, Tiger stood on business. She was talking all that shit until they swatted the mosquito off her face. And that was not the last you would see of her, cause of course she pulls up to the school. And she literally trying to gaslight that nigga into thinking that the slap was Tiger's fault. But he literally saw everything happen. Yeah, pause right there. I just want to remind you, if you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe. Like, let's continue enjoying and making all this content, all this anime and other videos. I be losing sleep over. And with your help, I can continue to grow the channel. So leave a like, subscribe if you enjoyed so far, and let's get back to the regular scheduled programming. So they walking home and this random dude over there is following Shorty, so she goes to them for safety. And she ends up sleeping at Tiger's house, but Tiger gets her revenge. And what's the best revenge? Blackmail. She takes a lot of pictures she can use against her, so now they can keep her in check. Now, despite all the bad things I said, to be fair, she dead ass had to quit her job and move away. And this nigga was still following her. Now, she did end up scaring him away, but my sympathy for her didn't even last long, cause not 2 episodes later, not the next episode, but a couple of scenes later, she posts this bullshit.
あれなんかヤバめアミちゃんタイミング悪いかも
Just went up and missed the whole vibe for like 1 day, and after they were back to normal.
今日のご飯は何かしらね
炊き込みご飯お前好きだろ
So they have to go to the pool for class, but there's one problem. Shorty built like a 2x4 piece of wood. She built like a flat screen TV. Okay, we getting off topic here. Anyway, so our guy being a W mans, he makes her something, and just when one problem was solved, another came around, cause turns out she just like me. Whenever the water level below 6 feet, she begins to sink. Now, unlike me who sank to the bottom and blacked out, she actually stayed afloat long enough for our boy to come save her in more ways than one. Now, after getting saved from drowning, I don't know how, but she somehow was gaslit into a swimming competition, which we never really get to see the end of because some dumb ass niggas knocked our boy into the pool.
あれタイガ
But it wasn't heaven, but he did wake up to see something surprising.
バカ引きになんかに聞い取られて、誰もリュウジを。リュウジは私のだー！誰も触るんじゃない！
Since they lost the swimming bed, they all ended up going to a summer home just so she could fifth wheel the entire time. She tried to take shots at our guy, but none of them landed. Anyway, so later they try going to bed, but they get attacked by a ghost. But obviously it wasn't a ghost. It was just these two. So they go back after getting the shit scared out of them. And we get into some lore. So Shorty fired up, pop back up like a deadbeat dad after his son is about to be drafted. But she wasn't going for that. Well, until he gave this speech.
てめえ、あれが、あの人が、お前には本当にゴミに見えんのか。うちの親父なんかどんだけ望んだって帰っちゃこねえ。
And she gives him a chance, but that turns out to be the worst decision she could have made. So she in this show and they made a plan so she could be the lead role if he shows up. But who would have thought that nigga never shows up? She was also in another thing planned, but guess what? That nigga still ain't show up, and he ain't even text her directly. He sent a message to our guy to tell her he ain't pulling up. I don't know, maybe it wasn't draft night, but still, that nigga a bitch, bruh. He had Shorty looking sad as fuck on that stage, bruh. And you know what? This wasn't the first time this nigga done did this. He went back to back with it. Like, this nigga think he Michael Jordan. Well, he ain't Michael, cause for sure he ain't doing no repeat. Also, speaking of basketball, that nigga Kitamaru got rejected. And after that, that boy wasn't the same. Like, he went from stand-up guy to your local young nigga. Like, ain't no rejection could have been this bad. Next thing you know, he finna pull up with a blessed throat tattoo, but that's not what he did. He just ran away from home, and now we in that man's house.
お邪魔してるぞ。北村?
So after a quick talking to, this nigga returns to normal, but well, I thought he did until he does what is about to happen. But before that, so turns out the actual reason for the crash out was because Shorty was leaving to chase her dreams of becoming an astronaut. He didn't even get rejected yet. He would yet. So as that nigga about to become the new school president, he confesses in front of the entire school.
会長があなたが好きだ
But I think we all know how that went. Gotta give it to him. His aura levels may be in the negatives, but he tried, bro. And his friend stuck up for him. W Mans went to check up on him, and Tiger, being the crash out that she is, decides to do the only thing she could. She went to fight.
この足は止まらないということだけ。
Now the fight was very much unnecessary, but after she did give a valid point, which was that if she did accept that nigga, he probably would have done whatever he could to follow her rather than focusing on his own future. But still, all this was pointless. She still left. And I was watching, but I don't really know what happened, but Shorty been avoiding that nigga since then, and she been off a game.
とではあったけど、最近ぼーっとしてること多いよね。何やってんだ、私は。
And it only gets worse because these two been beefing since they met, and the next thing I know, they out here singing and dancing all fully choreographed. And right after she went home, going to get Minorin to go to the party so she could finally stop avoiding our nigga. And two things happened after that. That nigga got rejected, and she finally realized she liked our nigga. Like, it was supposed to be Christmas Eve. There should not be these much problems happening. And after that, everything went back to normal. Well, as normal as it can be when a nigga is getting chased by two girls who are also friends. Okay, so I've rewatched this show like 4 times and there's 25 episodes. I've just realized this, but turns out the reason she rejected him is the moment Tiger realized she liked the nigga, she saw it. I'm just realizing this. I dead ass am just realizing this scene. The scene was right in my face. I just never put 2 and 2 together. I'm just realizing this now. So anything I may say right now, if it's confusing, I know it is. I never realized this. I rewatched it so much times and I had to rewatch it to edit this, so yeah. Anyways, just like the Cavs in a 3-1 comeback, that boy persisted. Cause they got a class trip, so he gets another chance, but every chance that boy gets, she just act like she ain't know. At that point, you gotta give up. That boy ain't winning no titles. But it was heated though, like so heated, niggas was warm enough to throw hands in the snow. She ended up getting knocked out and we almost lost our second MC. But that boy ended up finding it, and at that point, it was where the plot became still fake.
どうしたってリュウジのことが好きなんだもん。みのりんとうまくいってほしいのに、やっぱり辛いのよ。辛くて、どうしても辛くて、ダメ。
And just when you think that boy couldn't catch a break, his mama gets sick after picking up an extra job to help pay for that boy to go to college. But after some rest, she was fine and back up and moving. Speaking of moving, the plot also moved along because the next time all of them gathered, these niggas literally had a love intervention and she literally ran away from her feelings. And speaking of feelings, this nigga did the worst thing you could ever do. He made his mama cry.
自分の失敗を俺に押し付けようとすんな。俺はタイガー。タイガー。タイガー。待ちなさい、タイガー。
So after both expressing their feelings by jumping off a bridge, which I really think their legs probably should have suffered some damage, but it's an anime, So they finally came up with a plan. They're gonna leave for a year. When they get married, they're gonna come back for their senior years, which they did end up doing. So they went to stay with that nigga grandparents, and that's where we learned something even crazier. So turns out that nigga father ain't dead. He just a deadbeat. That nigga ran away with another girl while she was pregnant. Now I kinda wish that nigga was dead. But that's not even the worst part, cause eventually they did go home, and when that boy was preparing dinner, she left. Like everyone is just leaving that boy. But this time it's a happy ending. I'd rather not talk about it rather than I'll just show it. If the full thing in there, I probably had to trim it for copyright, but it's a great end to such a great show. It needs no second season. So yeah, if you're seeing this, it definitely got copyrighted. You wouldn't even be able to see this video if I did not take out the whole clip. The clip, in fact, which I was talking over, and they still copyrighted it. And even if I disputed it, it would take 30 days, and I wouldn't be able to upload this today. So yeah, I didn't even. It's very late in the night right now. Very late. Very late. I didn't feel like editing a whole thing for this. I tried my best. I trimmed out some of the things to get. I don't know how they were copyrighting something I'm talking over. I don't know, bro. Just I don't know. I hope you all enjoyed the video, bro. I'm just yelling there. Well, there's still more to go after this. There's still stuff I still included, so there's still more after this. Like, some people may say a better romance anime is probably like Darling X Franks, or maybe even a Leah anime. It's new, I haven't watched it yet. So I will tell me if you think there's a romance anime better than this, cause I don't think so. But yeah, you gotta hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I know I say this a lot, but trust, the next video is coming early. Trust. And with that, I'ma see y'all.
30 hertz straight up. I gotta keep a pop yeah. Put a red ribbon on me. Fly away on Nimbus, yeah. Headed up the commies. I need me a bag full of sensu to get me back started. You don't even know what I've been through. The strain is hyperbolic. I ain't had a session in a minute, but I'm back. Let me finish. I'ma throw on the shade.